Coming up, with the Spanish lockdown officially over, what are the rules of the new normal in Spain? Plus, a week after opening, we'll be taking another look at the beach, take a trip down Tapas Alley, we'll see which markets are open and find out how busy Saturday night is on the town. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Baker, owner of Benidorm's free newspaper, the Round Town Times. But with hardly any tourists here, we've been helping you keep in touch with this series of videos called BenidormForever. If this is the first one you've seen, please check out the previous ones and spread the word to anyone that you know that likes Benidorm. Thank you. It's been an exciting week for Spain in general because our state of alarm, or lockdown as we all refer to it, officially ended at midnight last Saturday, and with it the restriction on movement. So from Sunday we've had a slow but steady influx of holidaymakers, mainly Spanish, who love Benidorm every bit as much as the Brits do and flock to our shores for the summer. This has made the beaches a bit busier than they were last week, as you can see, and the town hall have extended the opening times to allow people to walk the shoreline from 7 AM. This is an extremely popular pastime for the Spanish holidaymakers. And also, as you can see, everyone's coming to terms with the strange pods we told you about in our previous video. These 4-metre square roped areas are designed to encourage social distancing and have worked really well, and at the moment there's no need to book your pod ahead of time. There's more than enough space for everyone, but as the resort gets busier and this changes, we will let you know. The beach safety team are on hand to show you the ropes, yes, every pun intended, and remind you to be respectful of our rules. And the rules are simple, even though some news reports are hell-bent on making them confusing, and they are as follows. The rules for the new normal in Spain can be pretty much summarised into 3 categories: social distancing, hand sanitizer and masks. So the key is to stay 1.5 metres from the nearest person to you. If you can't do that, you need to put your mask on, which we keep hooked over our arm. It's simply common sense. So in the case of the beach, as you enter and exit, thus passing people, you are asked to wear your mask. But you'll see that when you get here, and you will do it naturally, as you'll just copy what we do. What is it they say? When in Rome, do as the Romans. Well, when in Benidorm, do as the Benidormenses. At the entrance to every store, bar and business and hotel, there's a hand sanitizer at the ready, and you must use it. And in most cases you'll need to wear a mask, but that's really all there is to it. So when do we plan on seeing more tourists? Well, despite an initial and confusing can we can't we message from Spain, it is now absolutely clear that tourists from the UK are very welcome in Spain, and along with any other foreign visitor flying into our country, you will have to fill out a document at the airport, you'll get your temperature taken, and you'll undergo a visual inspection, which basically means if you look ill, you could be turned away from getting on the plane. So go easy on the G&Ts at the airport. So, if you can brave the plane journey, and we know truthfully due to the confined space that is the scariest part for all of us, once you're here you will have a great time. The sun is shining, the streets are immaculate, the beach is virtually empty, and the hotels have taken every possible step to keep guests safe. So which hotels are open? Well, today not very many. In fact, I could only find one called the Alamos, which caters predominantly for Spaniards, hence their reason for opening the doors. But many more plan to open from July the 1st, and even more from mid-July when Jet2 have announced they'll be resuming their flights. I took time out for a catch-up with Gabriella Cowell this week. She's the manageress of the Hotel Ambassador and a long-time friend, to find out what's what. Many of you will already know the Hotel Ambassador is closed for a refurbishment until March of next year, a plan that was already in the pipeline, but it's been brought forward by the pandemic. But Gabriella did confirm the brilliant news that their sister hotel, the Presidente, just around the corner, is reopening on July the 8th. And as you can see, with the arrival of a trickle of tourists, the resort already looks livelier, especially around the old town. This is where the famous Tapas Alley is. The Spanish do enjoy their aperitivo and tapas time before lunch. And of course, I felt it only right to enjoy some tasty tapas too. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And whilst we're here, let me take a moment to tell you a bit more about the old town. We know from your comments you like the history bits, so here goes. The Old Town, or El Casco Antiguo as we refer to it, is the heart of Benidorm, located between the two beaches and closest to the port. Remember, Benidorm was just a fishing village until the mid-50s, and this is where the people of Benidorm, or La Gent de Benidorm, lived. Some of them still do. These few families with typical surnames like Barceló, Such, Orts and Zaragoza refer to this part of the resort as El Pueblo, the village, and many of them own businesses in the Rincon side of town, hotels, restaurants and bars for example, but they still live here in El Pueblo. A school friend of my husband's, who owns and works in a 4-star hotel many of you are familiar with, lives right here in an apartment, albeit a nice one, and he goes to work on his Harley Davidson every day and he takes his fishing boat out on a Sunday, regular as clockwork. For these people, there is no better place than Benidorm to work and play. And they're right, of course. But further away from the port, as the roads get narrower and the buildings not so pretty, live the workforce. Here, boring offices and services replace roadside cafes, and the uniform shops that clothe the workforce replace the souvenir shops. These are the homes of the people that will struggle the most over the next few months, possibly years, until Benidorm gets back to the vibrant space it was until just 3 months ago. Almost everybody in Benidorm and for miles around derives their income from tourists, but without them, the army of workers it takes to cater for you all are simply surplus to requirement. But with every day that passes, new bars are opening, like the brand new Harry's bar just off the Levante beach. And as the resort slowly unfolds, more and more people are getting their businesses ready. We went to see the Corner Bar run by Ashley and his lovely wife Jacqueline, located just opposite the Flamingo Oasis Hotel. We featured Ashley's story at the beginning of the lockdown in the Round Town Times, so we're super excited to hear of his decision to reopen from today.
Hi everyone, Ashley here from the Corner Bar, Benidorm. As you can see, just getting ready to open. We're going to be open on Thursday. Starting to see a few people now walking up and down the streets. Benidorm's coming back to life again, and so's our bar, and so's many bars and businesses in this area. The huge Melia across the road's about to open next Wednesday. The Regenti right in front of me is opening on the 7th of July. We're going to be open this Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning with a full menu with the same great prices as before. So come down and join us. Cheers.
As you can see, business is booming for Ashley on his first day back, and we'd like to wish him and his lovely family all the luck they deserve for the future. The other exciting news for the resort was the reopening of the fabulous Terra Natura Animal Park just behind Benidorm. This is the first of the theme parks to reopen, and naturally we were there to capture the emotional moment the first guest came through the doors, greeted with applause from the park staff and management team, and the fitting Circle of Life song from The Lion King. Terra Natura is a beautiful park, and the animals roam freely in spaces that mimic their natural habitat. And the adjacent water park, Aqua Natura, which will open sometime in July, gives visitors the opportunity to enjoy the animal park in the morning and the water park in the afternoon. But Terra Natura also plays an important part in the animal world. Lots of endangered species have been encouraged to reproduce at Terra Natura, and the venom produced by their snakes, for example, is used in cancer treatment development at Valencia University. After 3 months with no visitors and lots of hungry mouths to feed, the park's resources have been stretched to the limit. So please come and spend a day when you're next in Benidorm. Follow the meandering paths, enjoy a picnic overlooking the rhinoceros and her baby, and let the kids run riot in the fantastic adventure playground. It was funny to see the animals' reaction after so long without visitors. the deers froze with fear, the monkeys performed and hooted loudly, and this baboon clearly resented the intrusion. As promised, we've found out which of the markets are open, and these are as follows. The Benidorm Sunday and Wednesday market hasn't reopened yet, simply because there aren't enough tourists. But El Cisne Rastro, or Car Boot and Antiques Market, has opened from today, and as you can see it's quieter than normal, but that's to be expected because it's a Thursday. The weekends are always busier here. And the other market that's open is the one in the neighbouring town of Albion. This takes place on a Sunday and is a popular pastime with the locals, followed by lunch in a local restaurant or a walk up to the lighthouse. As a side note, whilst we're in Albion, we were all gutted this week that the traditional San Juan beach party couldn't go ahead. It's a highlight of the fiesta calendar, where all the locals enjoy supper on the beach, as you can see from this photo taken last year, followed by a paddle in the sea at midnight. With school over, it symbolises the start of summer and all the fun that goes with it. But this year, crowds must be avoided, and it's a small price to pay to be safe. And there was still a lovely atmosphere at the beachside cafes, as you can see. And so to the part that you've all been waiting for, your first peek of a Saturday night in Benidorm, now the discos are allowed to open. So I sent my daughter down to film because she was going out with her mates anyway to the old town, that's where the Spaniards hang out. So I asked her to go across to the British side of town, but to use her words, the only lights she could find flashing were the faulty street lights. Here it is, warts and all, not a soul in sight, but of course, things can only get better. This will change soon, all we need are some tourists. But we can't hide from the fact that your next holiday will be different. The world is different. You'll have a great time, just quieter than you remember, but we guarantee you'll love Benidorm even more for everything she's been through. And finally, it's been a special time in our house this week as we celebrated some milestone birthdays, plus Father's Day and the end of the Spanish lockdown, with a couple of small family gatherings. As we rejoice that the Spanish state of alarm is over, we must remember a lot of people lost their lives in this fight against COVID-19, and many more fought at the front line to protect us all. I know we are united in our gratitude to these heroes, and we must honour them by respecting the rules of the new normal to keep us all safe in the future. Next week, by popular demand, we'll be taking a look at the campsites, as predictions suggest they're going to be busy this summer. We'll also update you on which hotels are reopening, and again, because you've asked for it, we'll be revisiting Albion to take a walk up to the lighthouse. We hope you enjoyed today's video. As you can see, we do respond to your requests, so please keep your comments coming and please spread the word. We want you all to remember Benidorm forever until the time is right for you to return. Thank you.